Today I want to analyze the chord progression, song structure, and arranging devices of another Brian Wilson composed Beach Boys classic, Surfer Girl. This song is definitely on the simpler side of things compared to some of Brian's more advanced compositions, which I've covered here, like God Only Knows, Wonderful, Don't Talk, Surf's Up. But nonetheless, Surfer Girl contains some vital harmonic pillars of musical foundation that beginner and intermediate songwriters are likely to benefit from learning, and this video is going to help you incorporate these ideas into your own songwriting process. I first remember hearing Surfer Girl. I must have been making pizzas at one of my first jobs, but it came on the radio and it's just so beautiful, it just catches you off guard. I think I heard an interview with Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees who said the same thing. They were on a beach and Surfer Girl came on and everyone just went like, oh my gosh. It's a special song. If you haven't heard the original in a while, why don't you listen to that first before listening to this harmonic deep dive on the chord changes. Please make sure to hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so you can see when I release new videos. Press the like button, leave comments, and if you desire, you can even leave me money tips here on YouTube, which is called a super thanks, which does help my channel grow. I am going to do it in C. The original is in D, but I'm going to do it in C. It's a little easier for me to sing. In the last video, I transposed it, but I put the chord chart in the original key, and people that were trying to play along were raking me over the coals in the comments, and for good reason. So I've made a change here based on all of your constructive criticism, and I'm going to display the key that is really not that big of a idea. Like, why wouldn't you display the key? Okay, it was a dumb idea, sorry. Anyway, I'm doing it in C, just down a whole step. You could write this song in 6/8, those classic doo-wop chord progressions, the 1-6-2-5s, like C, A minor, F, G, are usually considered in 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. You could also write them in 4, like I did here, which saves space, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. They're really the same thing, it's just a different way, it's kind of semantics in a way. So, you've seen some of my crazy key charts before. This is easy. The sunshine means a new key, and then we have the Roman numerals to say what the function is of that key. You will hear me change the melody a lot. I'm trying to evade the algorithm so it doesn't know this is a cover song and give 100% of the views from this video to some corporate record company thing. Let's see if I can do it. So I'm going to sing a little bit of a different melody. The important thing about this lesson is the chord progressions. So Surfer Girl starts with an intro that might not seem like some, drastic arrangement device, but nonetheless is an interesting way to start the song. The intro contains typical Beach Boys wordless vocal stacks. 4 or 5 parts, it's hard to tell sometime, but the unique thing here is it uses a chord progression that isn't found anywhere else in the song. So, device alert, here's something you can incorporate. An intro that uses a chord progression that's in the same key, but isn't the same as the rest of the song. Anyway, this deviation from the chord progression of the rest of the song provides variety, color to the composition and arrangement, and the songwriters out there would do well to adopt this, and it's a very general device. It's not something specific. No one's going to think Surfer Girl, right? I'm going to put an intro that has different set of chords than the rest of the song. So the rule here is that an introduction to any song can contain a completely novel set of chords that are in the key but are not referenced at any other point in the song. For those of you who have a bias towards my Beach Boys doo-wop and 60s wall of sound aspect of my classes, I have a project called ISS that I might recommend to you, and I think it might really catch your ear. I recommend first watching this video here on the screen called She's a Girl on YouTube. This song pays homage to the Beach Boys' Smile album and the wall of sound in general. It does employ the background vocal motif, a trombone line, and the basic verse chord progression from the song Heroes and Villains from the Beach Boys, but it is otherwise a completely original song other than those 3 aspects, and it's almost 9 minutes long, and it's unabashedly dripping in Smile-era Beach Boys influence. Please check it out. This song is the title track for my 2018 ISS album. If you like it, please consider supporting my endeavors by buying it on Bandcamp or on timsmolens.com. ISS also has another album on timsmolens.com called Forget About the Girl. So for those of you who haven't seen my crazy key signatures before, a sunshine means a new key. Here's the name of the section. Here's the chord progressions. Here's the Roman numeral which says which degree of the current key that we're in this chord is functioning as. Then you get some repeat signs. You do get the occasional heart, which means it's flirting with a different key. So like I said, we have an intro that's totally different from the rest of the chord progressions of the song. We go 1 to 3. And 3 and 1 share a lot in common, especially that E and G, so they're pretty related chords. 1, 3 of C major, then we go to 6, back to 3, then 4, and 4 is very similar to 2 because they share 2 notes in common also. So 4 and 2, you'll learn, are kind of interchangeable in a key. So in the key of C major, F major and D minor perform basically the same function, just like C major and E minor 7 perform a similar function. So we have some wordless vocals. Then the bass walks up, a typical doo-wop device. Boom, 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 boom. How many times in doo-wop do you hear doom, do do do, boom, 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 boom? So anyway, we get to the end of that intro, the G7, and the bass walks up to the verse. So we're gonna start on 1, nice and simple. Verse 1 here goes. So we went 1 to 6, 4 to 5. Then we do a little turnaround, which leads toward 4. So you take the 1 and you turn it major 7, then you turn it dominant. And that C7, or the 1 dominant, is really the 5 of the key of 4. The key of 4 is the most related key to C. So whenever you hear that little turnaround, that's 1 dominant that wants to go to 4. So let's take it from the beginning of the verse. Little surfer 1 6 4 5. Then we got that turnaround, C major 7. That leads to 4. Then the classic. That 4 to 4 minor, I've gone over this in a lot of videos. Pop music history is absolutely filled with people like the Beatles and the Beach Boys and everybody else using 4 to 4 minor. Back in my old group, we heard this so much in pop music that we called it banned. It's now officially banned. There's a moratorium on using this device, but you can't. It's everywhere in pop music, but it's more interesting than just those straight 1 6 2 5. So you got 1 6 4 5 1, turn 1 dominant, 4 minor. Do you love me? Do yourself a girl? First ending. My little surfer girl. Second verse, 4 on the shore, 1 major 7, standing by the oceans, 4 to 4 minor, then a turnaround, 1 6 2 4 5. Do you love me? Do you serve? Take the second ending, for girl, classic. Second ending, turn it dominant. Remember I said that when you make a 1 chord dominant, you're flirting with the key of the 4 because the C7 wants to go to F major. So we're in C, like I said, but the C major's flirting with F just a little bit. So let's take that second ending here again. It goes right here. Do you love me? Do you serve a girl? Turn around, second ending, 1 4. 1, turn it dominant, which is the most classic way to get to a bridge. So here we have the bridge, which it was C7 before that. Now we have, let's do that. So yeah, that C7 leads to F. We could ride the waves together while our love would grow. So all that is there on that bridge is 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5, 1. It is the most classic bridge. New songwriters out there, burn that into your memory. A bridge, the most classic bridge you can do is 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, and turn it dominant and do it all again. Now there's a little difference coming up here. A 2 dominant. Sudden modulation. Please take some time to explore my video playlists and find the subjects and videos that you like. I also have an online conservatory on Patreon called High Castle Conservatory. It's a place for even more chord progression deep dives, production and songwriting lessons, plenty of exclusive content, live online classes, explorations in harmonic science, exclusive interviews, and listening explorations of lesser-known music artists throughout the golden age of music recordings. You don't need to be an advanced musician to join. Even beginner musicians or intermediate who want to grow will find a path forward in High Castle Conservatory. Okay, so anyway, we had, like I said, the most classic turnaround to a bridge you could have. So that C7 is always going to want to fall to the 4 chord, which is F. 4 we could 5, then we'd have to go to 1, and then we'll go to 6, 'cause they're so similar. 4 while our love would grow. Turn 1 dominant, go back to 4. In my 5, I'd take you back to 1. 6, now the big 2 dominant. Everywhere I go. Sudden modulation. Verse 3 is the same, except it's up a half step. So do you love me? Do you suffer? All it is 1, 6, 4, 5. Surfer girl, my little surfer. A fade out. Anyway, sorry, I got completely carried away there. Anyway, this modulation, let's take it back to there. Like I said, we had the most classic bridge you could have. 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5, 1. But you finally get to one of Brian's sudden modulations, and this is not a particularly creative modulation, but it just happens to work here because you just go right into it. So let's take that one more time from the bridge and talk over this 4. We could catch someone, waves together, and our love would grow stronger. 1 dominant, back to 4. In my T-bird eye, 1, 6 would take you. 2 dominant's always a big thing. Because it's the 5 of the 5, right? We're in C, so the 5 is G7, but its 5 is D7, which happens to be that 2 dominant we were just looking at right here. So right here, the end of the bridge. In my T-bird eye will take you, big 2 dominant. Everywhere I 5 go, suddenly go up a half step, new key. New key is D flat, and we're just going to do 1/6, the same as the verse. So I say 4, from me to you 5, 1 dominant. I will make your dreams come true. 4 to 4 minor. Do you love me? 4. Do you serve? Then you just vamp it. For girl, my little sapphire girl, my little, my sapphire girl, my own. Remember before I told you that 4 and 2 were interchangeable? Listen what if I did surfer girl 2 instead of 4. Little surfer girl, I can't marry no one. So anyway, Surfer Girl is simple, but it's really one of Brian's first early statements. There's a few songs before that that are hinting at this level of genius, but it definitely carries a similar vibe to the progression for something like, you know, When You Wish Upon a Star, but it's just got a nice little turnaround. Do you love me? By the way, I got that from Paul Simon. I'm not lying. Go listen to his live version of Surfer Girl that he played at the Brian Wilson tribute. It may be one of the most brilliant cover songs in that he adapted it to what he's good at. He personalized it, which is really what you should do with a cover song. Anyway, I digress. That's Surfer Girl. Thank you.